Good evening everyone, welcome for the update, because it's Snetterton, but it's the newest game basically. Everything is new and everything has to be put around again, because obviously there are new cars as you can see around the map. There are already, there is the Porsche on track, the new Porsche in the 62 driven by Kevin. There is possibly, trying to understand who has the new cars. Definitely there are the new Ferrari 296. I'm seeing some old Porsches still. But remember, everything has changed basically in a dramatic way, sort of. Mostly because obviously new update, so it means new tires physics, new suspensions physics, dampers, balance of performance, more or less, considering the only car that really had a BOP change was the Honda. Is now absolutely undrivable because it's slow, which is something that everyone is happy about. There are the new number plates, even for how much it's useful for the viewership. But now you can see there is no IM Pro and etc. on the boards anymore. It's bronze, silver, gold and platinum. And has indeed been murdered, which is a good thing, and everyone has to cheer about it. I'm seeing that Burj is still on the old one. Seems like it's quite hard to understand, I'll be honest, mostly because I didn't have a look at the new one. Trying to understand who is on the new. Okay, no, so Noel Brown is on the old one, that's for sure. Gedman is on the old one, and Kevin is, I think, on the new one. Seeing if the cars are aesthetically very similar. They are just completely different in terms of engine capacity and effective the air intaker, which is 40 millimeters if I remember correctly. It's quite difficult. Maybe none of them are on the new one, because I'm seeing around trying to see. The quickest way to understand if they are on a new car or not is by the rear taillights, which they seem the same. Obviously I can't rely on myself completely. I saw a new Ferrari, there is just one. It's the 990 on the grid. Maybe there are actually... Oh no, wait! That's true, it's my mistake. They are all on old ones, because in this series, if you change to the new version, you get the points nullified. So effectively, Smith decided to nullify the points they had until now, to go to the newest version of the car, which is obviously very quick. There is Abu Said currently in first place, so we are currently still with the old ones. And obviously this also means that it's quite highly possible that in terms of performance we may see the new, well, at least the new Ferrari, but possibly even the other cars quite quick. Balance of performance put the McLaren on a halt again, because it was just to worsen things up. McLaren has had another nerf. Porsche, I was surprised, no nerf at all. Audi had a 25 kilogram less in terms of weight, just for Monza, while the Honda has been nerfed absolutely and completely. 3500 till limiter in certain track and 4000 till limiter in other. I can't remember which one exactly. I have the past bin, just I should search for it, and I don't feel like I can do it quickly. Panel currently in the OSR livery, possibly setting the new fastest lap of the session. Panalo goes into the over the race line with a 48.0, and Abu Said comes to the line 95 milliseconds away from pole, with Sberla also improving. Audi that possibly will have the best advantage because of the new tires, mostly because of the behavior of the car. The car was now very difficult to manage in the old tires, but now it is quite maneuverable, and it's quite easily being shown by Sberla. 971 currently in second place, 93 milliseconds away from pole, with Abu Said with 95, so in a single time there are 3 drivers. Still 3 minutes to go for the IM drivers. Currently on track with another 13 drivers in the Pro IM category. You can see it from... oh wait, that's effectively something I forgot to put correctly, which is what you need to understand the timing. So you can see the delta on the column. The delta is from their personal best, not from the pole lap, while the effective gap from pole is auto-explicative. The delta is just to their personal best. It's not to the overall best, which is something that obviously will put Abu Said with the fastest lap. For a moment it was a French on pole, but 100, slightly more than 100 milliseconds, and it was Abu Said down in the grass. Still on a valid lap, and still with a 10th, not anymore as he goes wide into number 2. Now, unfortunately, I drove here more or less once in my life, so I can't really provide any real inside view. I think this is the only track, Valencia excluded, because obviously with the new DLC it means that Valencia is now a track that people can drive on, and I still didn't do a single lap, mostly because I don't have the DLC yet. Seeing Borsari on track, and he can't be on track, so not sure why he's running, because the Pro IM have to stay into the pit for the next minute and 25, so I'm questioning. Okay, no, I think he noticed the fact that he couldn't stay on track. Odd mistake there. Sberla currently still setting a very good lap as we go from the splitter. Quite wide on entry. Still trying to get some time out of himself, but most time is going... oh, Panalo goes wide. Just in front of Abu Said, that is setting a quick lap. After messing around turn number 2, he can still make another improvement. 3 times, so apparently the last lap was terrible, because now there are nearly 4 times. Now it's actually 4 times on himself, which puts Panalux 500 milliseconds away from pole. In the 22, Aston Martin still has just a single lap to score an improvement that will not appear because he is already a second off his pace. So this puts effectively Abu Said, which is still improving on pole position, almost certainly, unless Kevin puts an astonishing last sector. He is still on the very first moments of his lap. 5 times away from pole, away from his own time, now 6, so apparently the portion number 62 is coming out of life. And it may still make the pole, maybe just if the last sector comes along with the car, because Abu Said is now into the pits. Pro IM are also off into the distance. You can see them. Oh, maybe yes, turn 1, in turn 2, sorry. 6 tenths, maybe 7. Oh, it's at the very last moment. What I thought it was over, it still isn't, as Kevin, 6 tenths away, he, for a brief moment, he was setting the quickest lap time. He still can. It's very close for the pole position in the IM class, which will put the... Oh no, he went wide! He went wide and into the wall! Into the wall at the very final moment, so we go from the inside the cam. As you can see, he goes wide, a little bit wide. And he doesn't brake at all. Oh no, he lost the car on entry. He lost the rear on entry and he was absolutely destroying the lap. He was literally going for the pole. And now he is just in 5th place. Whilst now the Pro-Am drivers are off into the distance. We have Neil Woodward in the Porsche, 999, number 2, the Lexus. But there is just one new entry, is the new 296, Julian Smith. Decided that he could basically delete all his championships results until now. The 990 is the only new car but it also depends on many things, track, temperature, and etc. So you don't have to say to compare yourself always. But obviously, something I can say is the quickest lap here. I have no clue. This is the first time even watching a race in Snetterton. And the last time I've been running in GT4, so I'm not really that much. I think 45 are a good lap. Obviously we are with Julian Smith because of the new car. We will stay with him to tomorrow. Oh, nice. Wet Snetterton, classic British environment. But anyway, currently are ongoing. The situation as it stands. I'm very curious as well, Smith. Obviously, he has the little advantage of having the default aggressive setups basically ready for the update, as he has access to the fact that the setup being made for this car is especially made for this version of the game. So it should be theoretically on pole. Practically it's an unknown situation. There is just a Porsche. Remember that Porsche was nearly going for a 1-2 in the IM class. There is a Mercedes up in the distance going very wide. It is the 41 of James Williams. Times are coming across the line. Sauter in 10th, Woodward in 13th, Thompson in 9th, and 990. Now crossing the line. This car is beautiful. I can't wait to see it during the 3 hour of Monza on this weekend. And he goes in 7th place, with Joe Woodall that made 3rd in the 531 McLaren, which possibly has the new version, the new Evo version coming in a future update. Mostly I think it's going to be like the Honda kind of update. So the Honda came out free. Not sure why the Lamborghini isn't. And I don't know what I said. It was terrible. I don't know why the Honda came out like a BOP update while it was effectively the new Evo version. Possibly there are rumors that even the McLaren may come with the new Evo version as a BOP update, because at this point the car is just undrivable. It just doesn't have pace. It has been nerfed and nerfed and nerfed until at this point is nearly a disadvantage to even driving it. Some advantage has to be said because the car is very good with worn tires, and with the current updates the tires are completely different. Even if the McLaren is currently about to set the quickest lap of the qualifying session. Third place Abu Dhabi 531 McLaren, currently a second in front, and he goes wide on exit on the last turn, so his lap time is not going to be valid. Zerman put a 46.8, 6 tenths away from Abu Said, and Smith 1.1 away is in 4th place. Many drivers still have to get used to the new physics. Remember, tires have been updated, pressure has not been updated, because now the window is from 26 to 27. Whichever pressure you choose between those two limit values is okay, because it depends on the way you want to feel the car. You want a more reactive rear, you can go with lower pressure, or you can go with higher if you want a bit of a stable platform, considering the turn-in is less, and you can really edit your way to go with the pressure. Even in a race, you can maybe decide during a race that you want a more stable rear compared to the front, or the opposite way around. You can edit the pressure. Just a few clicks really makes the difference, as there is a Ferrari up in front. Not entirely sure who that is. It is Bro in the 78, currently on a lap. Oh, they contact! They make contact on the long left-hander. McLaren and Ferrari, they made contact on the long left-hander. Right-hander, sorry. Which is basically an horseshoe. And now Jabudal has to make a very quick run out of the pits with 2 laps to go. He was again setting a very interesting lap. McLaren here is very good. And unfortunately, everything went into tiny little pieces. So the McLaren, Timothy Jabudal, currently 5th in qualifying. There's also Zerman. We go with a lap with him. So he went a bit wider in turn 1, in turn 2. I keep mistaking it for turn 1. I'm not entirely sure the reason, but we go now in turn 3. Basically an hairpin. This track, it's not known that this track has 3 different variations of layout. There is Snetterton 100, Snetterton 200, Snetterton 300, if I remember correctly. There is one version which is just the outer loop. There is one version which is until turn 3 is the same, and then it changes as it goes into the infield section, and then there is the effective infield section, which is something completely different on the particular matter. And obviously I was commenting on the lap. I wouldn't say I forgot to do it, but more like I started speaking about something else. But as we go into more race, turn number 12, Zerman is going to set another quick lap, another pole lap. It's going to be an improvement. 46.7 is now the time being set by the Swedish driver on a very good run since the beginning of the championship. It goes again a bit wide in turn 2. This time I made it correctly. I said it correctly. Così il Zerman that has the lead of the championship, considering the current situation in his points. 2 second places, 2 wins, and a 6th place. No, sorry, 3 second places, 2 first places and 1 sixth place being gained in the last round. It was being that was being held in the circuit of the America, and with effectively 5 races to go, it's all still up to grab, as we are still with Zerman. There is Jabudal setting another time. In the meantime, Smith went in 3rd and Malaskowski went in 5th place. Jabudal still has to settle up, because effectively the first lap was the very first one that he set initially, basically at the beginning of his qualifying session. Zerman is possibly going to set another quick one, running just in front of the McLaren 531. You can hear the V10 roaring in the distance. Audi that has had a bit of a difficult time as it stands, considering the latest LMDH choices, more than anything, as Jabudal went in 2nd place. So first row, full Pro IM, and there is Paolo Hongari went in 5th, after being several positions down. I think he was in 11th. And as we go already into the grid. Oh wait, this is the wrong one. I need this one. Okay, way better. So it is effectively Ilka Zerman, number 60, Audi, leader of the championship by 17 points on Robbie Robstra in 2nd place, and Paolo Hongari in 3rd is it is 26 points behind, with then Armin Karasarovic in 4th, Nikolai Siabuk in 5th. But anyway, then there is Jabudal in 2nd place. First row, it's all Pro IM drivers. Then it's the pole in IM class, which is Youssef Abu said, Porsche number 19. And I wonder if any BOP update will come out of the cylinder, because effectively the Porsche may receive a balance of performance, a negative one, obviously, because of the new version that has just came out. And then, speaking of new version, it's the 990. Julia Smith in 4th place is the only driver with the new car, even without a livery. So basically brand new from the dealership. And Paolo Hongari in 5th place, the 155 Aston Martin. The Italian sits just in front of Panalo in 6th. So 2 Aston in the first 10 places, with only 2 being shown here. Then there is Malaskowski in the 15 BMW, Sberla in the 971 Audi, with Craig Hill in 9th, and Derek Kevin. His name is one of the most interesting one, because he was setting a very quick lap, and unfortunately everything went into dust at Murray's to number 12. Then there is Tiabuk in 11th, Borsari in 12th, 13th is Ian Thompson with Bourgeon 14th and Noel Brown in 15th. Sauter sits in 16th place in front of Biswas in the BMW 404 with the Italian Maurizio Messina in 18th place. McCurcon, very fancy livery, in 19th place with James Williams in the pink AMG in 20th, Woodward is in 21st, it's Brough in 22nd, Gateman in 23rd, and then GG completes the grid. As we go into, we are a bit farther, as we go with Ilke Zerman for a bit of a ride around the British track, a few seconds away from the start of the formation lap, as we go across. So first, turn number 1, it is Rich's. This corner here is basically a double right-hander. As you can see here, you go right once and then you go right a second time. With the curb on the inside, which is very high, you can acettle massively your car. And if you go on the outside, you encounter first the AstroTurf and then the grass, but remember that the AstroTurf here is quite unstable, I would say. Then it's Montreal in second turn with Palmer, the third one, not Jolion, Palmer. Which I don't know where he is now. Where is he now? I think he's now a technical commentator somewhere, journalist. I don't know. He's not on track anymore, so it's better this way for everyone. Agostini is car number 4 with Hamilton in front to number 5. This one here is going to be an interesting one, considering there is, you can see, a tire wall, more a tire cylinder on the inside to avoid the cutting. Ogis is 6th turn, right-hander. You can, even this one is basically a 2-point right turn. And then Williams, turn number 7, just in front of the Bentley straight, which goes all the way down into turn number 8, which is Brundle. Now, the complex of 8 and 9, Brundle Nelson, is a very interesting one. You have to have a lot of speed, you have to carry a lot of kilometers per hour, because turn 8 is effectively a fast left-hander, while Nelson is a very slow right-hander with huge walls nearly on the inside. You have to basically brake while turning. It's very difficult corner to get correctly. And then there is bomb hole with a little dip on the inside that then goes into the horseshoe. Coram, turn number 11. Very, very long. It's basically a 180R. It's literally a 180R. Maybe 170. With Murray's being a 90 degrees corner to the left, which is corner number 12. And the last one of the British track, as always, we go with 4th place driver from the Helicam, Julian Smith, 990, Ferrari 296. Moments away from the start of the race, with Julian Smith now in 3rd. So I wonder if it's misplacement on the grid, as the Porsche comes just next to the Ferrari. BMW very up in front, maybe too much up in front. And it's green light, and away we go with the McLaren. Javodal making a nice start at the initial phase, and then he disappears for a moment. He goes in 2nd. Back in the distance there is the BMW of Malaskowski, keeping 6th place, because he went in from 7th to 6th. There is Tiabuk, Aston Martin number 951, trying the inside on the hairpin on the Audi, just on the outside. Then there is back in the distance Thompson fighting with Kevin, who lost a position from the start. Bella, bit of a difficult start from the Audi driver, losing 2 positions from the start of the race. But altogether, seems like it was quite a nice start. Not too many incidents. Actually, not a single incident. No, I'm not seeing a single yellow flag around the track. Javodal is still in 2nd. Abu Said still in 3rd place overall and leader in IM class. Smith in 4th with Hungary following behind, with Malachowski in the distance. Possibly the 15. Terrible qualifying for Malachowski, that was fighting for the win earlier, a week earlier, in the Circuit of the Americas. Now we are back into the European countryside, or rather in the island, as he tries the inside in a very difficult manner. Malachowski trying the attack early on Hungary. Remember that there is an hour to go. Long race up ahead for the 24 drivers. We go from the splitter, still brand new for now, as the gap between the Aston Martin and the BMW is little to none. A bit wider on the grass. It may become the inside line for the BMW as he goes on the inside into number 1. Aston Martin a bit wide there. And the BMW has to stay behind. Meanwhile, up in front it is Smith, maybe trying the inside. It doesn't happen. Hungary and Malaskowski see side by side, and the BMW number 15 has made a position. Meanwhile, McCutcheon wide on exit into number 1 as he goes back in 17th place from 15th. At this point, quite an interesting situation. Gateman maybe trying the inside line on turn number 3. But it doesn't happen as of now. Someone went a bit wide. I think it was Smith going a bit wide. In fact, there is Malaskowski trying the position number 4. As we go from the wing of the newest Ferrari. Whole situation here, considering Smith is basically keeping the whole train alive. Not even, because now Abused went wide on exit, and now you can see Smith coming with an expected velocity of 1,000 km per hour, more than the Porsche, possibly going wide on entry or exit, one of the two, because of the very poor exit there from the Italian driver. As we go from into the horseshoe or the 180R or turn number 11 or Coram, just in front of 12. As still Smith and Malaskowski are battling. Oh! Into the inside he goes, and BMW kinda pushes Smith away to make a position number 4. Malaskowski absolutely on fire, trying to get as many positions as possible, as early as possible. In fact, he makes also the quickest lap of the whole session without doubts. 50.4. Even if Zerman and Jabudel actually went faster, but the lap was not a valid one. Oh, the Ferrari going absolutely with a dive bomb that made the British driver losing 2 positions, maybe 3 at the end of the day, battling with the 22 Aston Martin Panaloo in 7th, Smith in 6th. I remember you all that the classes are divided in the points, so it means that the Panaloo is 2nd place, as I saw Hill stopping on track and coming back in front. I think there was a bit of a disconnection moment by Hill just in front of Panaloo, as he lost connection for a brief moment, and now he's not on track anymore. Where is he? I'm trying to understand. Apparently the game didn't like the fact that he disconnected for a moment. Now Hill is nowhere. He has been disconnected completely from the race, with Siabuk that was trying the inside on Panaloo, which will not happen as of now. Into Brundle and Nelson, and then again into turn 11. So 100% certain now that Smith is not in the race anymore because of a disconnection that first happened, then it didn't, then it happened again, but now officially, as Zerman and Jabudal actually went faster. So the McLaren, even after the balance of performance downgrade, is now trying to set first place. There is also the fight between Sberla and Borsari for position. With, oh, definitely some door-to-door action, more door-to-door action, 3 wide after the hairpin, with just one of the 3 that has to go in front of the other. As I want to see back what happened there into the hairpin, you can see the Aston Martin going into the inside, making a collision with the Audi, losing the rear. Then there was the Porsche on the inside, 3-way collision among the drivers, with the Aston losing 2 positions. Borsari in 10th, gaining 1, and same goes for Kevin, gaining 1 in the 62. Oh, Siabuk is off into the distance. Yellow flag being shown for Nikolai Siabuk, as he is now in 13th place. We can go from the inside cockpit cam. He goes way too much into the inside, loses the car on exit because he went basically over the curb and lost the position he was in. He's now in 13th place, behind the train, going from 9th to 13th place. Quite an important fight that may sparkle up ahead, considering Zerman and Jabudal are one position, one after the other. Yeah, still Kevin. Bit wider on exit. Same goes for Xiaobu in the distance. Bit wide on 12. Another situation is a bit more calmer in a certain way, as now Julian Smith has to get back at least one of the position he lost. He was behind Malaskowski, and now he is behind Hungary. Burgio into the pits already. Possibly some trouble for Giorgio Burgio. Now into the pits. As we go somewhere into the track, because I can't really understand where we are. Okay, we are into turn number 4. And then 5 Hamilton. The camera around this track are incredible. Oh, 999. Oh, contact between Messina and 999. With the two drivers that are now stuck. And they were not moving. So we can see Messina going a bit wide. Woodward closing the inside. And possibly it was Messina waiting for Woodward to start the car. Messina now in 20th with Woodward in 17th place in front of Sauter. Little contact going into 4. Into Agostini. And then it's a bit of a fight here between Kevin and Borsari. Now, the two drivers aren't fighting for a position on the leaderboard. They are fighting for position on track. But Panaloo is 6 seconds up in front, and the current state, it is still Panaloo faster than Kevin, but remember Kevin was lapping extremely good in qualifying, so possibly at this moment the Porsche driver is just hoping for a way to pass the Aston, which is very good on a straight line. The Porsche has to utilize the fact that the car can brake very late and can maintain the traction in almost every part of the circuit. For whoever is joining now, the cars that you are seeing now are all of them old versions. They are not the newest, except for Smith in the Ferrari 296 in the 990. Now behind Hungary. British, the only driver with the newest version of the race car. With Hungary up in front, defending the position number 5. Remember that Hungary is also fighting for the championship, because Paul Hungary is in 3rd place, 16 points behind the leader Ilke Zerman, fighting with Timothy Jabudal in 10th place. So it will be quite an improvement for the McLaren driver, which at the moment is in 2nd place, as Kevin is finally making his way through to Borsari. Possibly Borsari understanding the situation, possibly fighting with the Porsche is not the best of ideas, and giving the place to Kevin, who is maybe lapping way quicker. Last lap was at 48.7. Panaloo last lap was at 48.5. And very close to Smith now, because Smith has made a mistake somewhere around. Now Panaloo has set his personal best, 48.9, with Kevin setting a 49.5. But now he has clean air, so the effective pace of the Frenchman, the one behind, not the one in front, has to be still being shown. Meanwhile, McCurtain and German maybe going to find turn 1, which doesn't happen. Messina goes into the pits. Wonder if it's for damage repair or anything else. As we go back in, I think we can stay here. Burgio went into the pits for just a splash and dash, 13 seconds. was the pit time for the Italian. Remember that the drivers during a 60-minute race don't have to rely on any particular window. There isn't a pit window. They can pit whenever they want. The only thing that is mandatory is putting fuel, and just a single liter is enough to set the pit. So possibly Burgio Messina on the same tactic, just briefly going into the pits, going into clean air, and then continue for the whole duration of the race. Obviously, it's quite clear that none of them will change tires unless proven otherwise, obviously. But I don't think anyone will go into the pits to change the tires. Let's continue. You can hear the noise, beautiful noise from the Ferrari 296, which will make the debut on this weekend, both in FRL, considering 24 hours of Watkins Glen and the 3 hours of Monza in real life. Quite interested about the pace of the cars, also because it's quite unknown, considering the IMSA, the American Endurance Championship, kindly put a ballast of in the order of the thousands and thousands of kilograms as contact, with a Porsche going absolutely fuming into the distance. It was Noel Brown going the average speed of 20,000 kilometers per hour. I'm not entirely sure how it happened. So it was James Williams missing the braking line, and then it was also Robin Noel Brown absolutely passing at the possible speed of 230 kilometers per hour into a first gear corner. So not exactly the best of the strategies by the 21 Porsche, now in 20th place after losing some spots. So we'll stay with this. Oh, Gedman, yellow flags being shown. He lost the rear on what I think it is turn number 6, which is in, it was 7, sorry, it was Williams, into now an overtake. It was Woodward making the position on Gedman after losing the car and possibly with overheated tires. So again, I want to stay here. Oh, the gear change is beautiful to be heard from the Italian car. Absolute paradise for the ears. I wasn't expecting any car to make the switch, as Biswas is trying the outside on Siabuk, which doesn't happen as of now. There is also Malaskowski now. Quickest lap time into the race, it was 47.5, being set by Jabudal in second place, with Ilke Zerman in first, leader of the race, with also a second and a half of advantage from Timothy Jabudal, the 531 McLaren. And now it's Malaskowski trying the position on the IM leader, basically glued to the car in front. Quite interesting battle to be sent here. Remember that also there is an additional point for whoever sets the... Oh, there is a contact! There is a contact between the two drivers, and the Porsche remains in front. But it was extraordinarily close between the two drivers, Malaskowski and Abu Said, BMW and Porsche. Lift off by the BMW driver, and now Jabudal set another quickest 47.4. So at this point Jabudal may also go looking for a position change. There is also the position change that may happen, which doesn't, between Hungary and Smith, with Borsari showing yellow flags up in the distance. Rallycross session for the Aston Martin driver that doesn't collide with anyone and gets back on track after going wide in turn 1. As I was saying, additional point that is given to the quickest race car that has the fastest lap, which at the moment is Timothy Jobdal as being shown in the very left side of the leaderboard. You can see from the little timer icon, the purple one. So the first 3 drivers still maintaining the position they started from. Smith 2 positions below from where he started from, opposite to Maskowski, who gained 3. And possibly Hungary. In all of these, oh, Thompson into the distance in the Ferrari. Not exactly in the correct space, but Smith this moment is very close to the 155. There's also a possible battle ongoing. It's Borsari making the position on Thompson, who went wide in Nelson, which is turn number 9, and makes the position in turn number 11. There is Hungary, Smith still ongoing this fat battle. Ferrari on this side, no contact, even if Dustin has to go very wide on the hairpin. Side by side into 3, sorry. I keep missing the numbers. Into 3. My only excuse is that I never did more than 20 minutes in this racetrack, so not entirely used to the numbers and to the names. But anyway, the current situation sets the quickest and closest battle in front, as we can go from the Audi wing. As also there is Smith, this time trying again. And inside, since I think the Aston was a bit slow on exit, on the inside they went. Ferrari still on the outside. The Aston kindly pushing Smith out of the racing line. And this makes Panalo, leader in IM class, in a bit of a trap, considering that he has to slow down while Kevin doesn't have to do so. 5.2 is the gap between the 2 Frenchmen. At the moment is very close between a lot of drivers. There is a battle for the lead, there is a battle for 3rd place, there is the battle for 5th place, which is actually being acted by 3 different drivers. There is now the BMW making it into turn number 2. Like I said, possibly understood that it's not their fight. As you can see also from the distance, it was Smith going into the inside into the hairpin, with Hungary on the outside still trying to keep the position. It doesn't happen as Hungary loses position number 5, and now there is also Panaloo trying position number 6. Overall, in all of these, Panaloo went 2 seconds slower than Kevin, which possibly is upsetting the Frenchman a lot. The Frenchman in number 22 Aston Martin. While up in front, it is still battle for the lead. Fastest lap holder between the current leader of the championship. McLaren is absolutely destroying my ears. As we go into 11, then into 12, the Aston Martin is still up in front. Situation here is really tense. That was the lead. I wonder if one of the two will go into the pits earlier than the other, so trying a sort of undercut, which will not happen, considering it. I really doubt any of the drivers went for a fuel change strategy. Audi a bit slow on exit, and this time it may be the time for the McLaren. It doesn't happen. Into number 4, into Agostini, it doesn't happen. Doesn't happen for now. With the McLaren 531, essentially trying to keep the distance at this point, because Jobodal is effectively quicker. I really think that the undercut is extremely not as powerful as earlier, because I noticed that you need a lot of time to get your tires under the correct window, and the tires really don't work outside the window. It's not like earlier where you are a bit slower if you're outside the window. No, in this case you don't work if you're not in the window. The window is quite wide, so that's the surprise. You have a very wide window, but if you're outside this window you are over. It's not coming back, while Smith goes in 4th place, overtaking Abu Said and basically going quicker than Malaskowski. So the new Ferrari seems to work. Smith is currently 4.2 seconds away from Malaskowski in 3rd place and lapping quicker than the Ukrainian into the 15 BMW. Now we stay with this battle. The current situation, McLaren. Remember, the McLaren is quite below in terms of positioning into the championship. But a win is always a win. And it's not over yet, with Monza being the next round, which is going to be quite an interesting venue. And then there is Hungaroring, which is the season finale. Now, only Monza will have a double header, and the finale will be on a 60-minute timer. Altogether, it's just 3 races to go with 2 rounds to go. This one excluded. Otherwise, it's one more in both cases. The current situation, this fight here is very tense, but no moves are made. And possibly Jobudal is not going into the pits, fearing that he may find himself into the traffic, which is the thing, because Burjo, who was basically the last car on track for the early pit, is just 5 seconds away from Noel Brown, and these drivers here were way faster than him, so he and Zerman will wait at the very final second at this point to avoid the traffic. Possibly none of them will try anything, as now Aston Martin of Hungary finding a lot of troubles after being overtaken by Smith, and now Panalo with Kevin just a second behind Panalo. Remember, the gap between the two drivers was 5 seconds prior to the battle that unfortunately Panalo was involved into indirectly. And now Kevin is just flying compared to the Aston in front, as now we go back again in front. Aston Martin, which is not in this view, Jabudani and McLaren behind the Audi, still the Audi in front. Jabudani still has to stay behind. At this point, it is simply a matter of waiting the correct moment, which will never happen. the perfect opportunity will never happen. You have to create it. And I think, oh, Thompson up in the distance again. Something happened here as he goes in 12th place. So he's in just after Hamilton. And he goes wide. He basically goes straight into Williams. A bit odd. It's a bit odd there for the British driver, Ian Thompson. So as I was trying to say earlier on, as we stay with this little battle, now going into the championship standings, Smith is obviously last, because he changed car, in 23rd place, as he lost 123 points. He was in 8th place. He lost all of them after just a podium being gained in round number 1, as there is possibly an overtake ongoing, still quite close as the Audi went a bit wide on Agostini in turn number 4, and then in turn number 5, still one after the other, then going into 6 and 7, just before the Bentley Straight. So Smith with this projected, because he can go into 3rd, he would match his personal best being gained in round number 1. Thompson and Borsari both went into the pits at the half hour. Wonder if they went for a change of tires. Borsari did indeed. Not even. He has been sitting in the pit lane for 50 seconds. So damage repair too for Luca Borsari. And Thompson just with 22 seconds, so a lot of fuel only. 22 seconds is quite odd. The current state. Jabudal would go for his personal best, whichever position he finishes. As there is Sauter and Woodward collided in 11. No, it wasn't 11. It seemed 11. It was actually 6. It was Sauter going way too quick into 6. With Woodward now in 14th place with huge damage in the rear of the car. Lexus with huge front end damage that has to be repaired. Now Smith is in 3rd place because Malaskowski went into the pits. Williams is sitting in the middle of the track after turn 10. But I'm quite interested about Malaskowski's tactic. He changed the car. He changed the tires in his car. So completely different tactic compared to the front of the field. As obviously we go up here, there is still a side-by-side situation. This time the Audi is still on the inside and it doesn't happen, but this time it was the Audi losing a bit of meters compared to the McLaren up until they reached turn number 9. Then bomb hole is 10 with the 11 Coram and Murres that is being the last. Oh, they go both into the pits! Quite interested about that. They both go into the pits. The same moment. McLaren that seemed too nearly going for an impact with the leader. And now Kevin, after going into the pits, number 62 is who changed the tires. So many drivers actually changing the tires. I wasn't expecting this. Many drivers going for a change of tires. Same goes for Zerman and same goes for Jabudal. So everything. Oh, contact! And Kevin is off. Kevin is off into the distance. It was a contact with the 999. We can see it back from the wing. Woodward absolutely tries a move into the inside, and I just don't understand it, considering that Woodward still has to pit. So he tried a move on a car that is not fighting with him. Very odd there. Smith is now the leader of the race And Jabudal is in front of German. Huge one here, because Jabudal didn't change the tires. He actually refueled only, and German is 10 seconds behind the... Okay, yes, I think it was my connection. This time. So for the first time, I got a disconnection. Which I'm quite surprised about it. Just want to be as quick as possible. Apparently I lost everything. Because Stockers is not answering anymore. Does it say this? Okay, I'm very sorry about this. Apparently I lost connection to everything. So my Wi-Fi went kaput for the first time after months. Now I want to be as quick as possible to get back into the race. Quite surprised by it, considering that it wasn't something I was planning to happen. Here back, okay. So after everything decided to die. Green light, give it all you can. Okay, we are back. This is so loud. Okay. I'm actually surprised. I think I will have to make a call tomorrow, obviously. As we are just back with Smith going into the pits. Everything should work back. Okay, many things are working back, at the very least. But okay, I will not ask too much. So tomorrow I will ask someone why did I get a disconnection, considering I'm now with optic fiber. It shouldn't happen at all. But anyway, as I was saying, Jabudal is actually in a very different situation compared to his opponent, Ilke Zerman. Now, seems like Jabudal went for just half the fuel, and he was lapping as quick as Zerman. But it didn't change the tires. While Zerman was obviously with half fuel at this point, I suppose, and also changed the tires. Which is a very interesting scenario now, because now the Swedish has to go faster than Jabudal. And he has to gain 11 seconds. Now, possibly, this is where the McLaren strength comes back on. Because, yes, the car has been nerfed, and it is quite slower compared to earlier on in some tracks. But, in terms of worn tires, the car is now absolutely astonishing. And possibly, Jabudal is using this to his advantage. Furthermore, it has to be said that Smith is now in 4th place overall after he put fuel on the car only, while Malskowski is very much below, 9 seconds away from Smith. So quite odd there. I was expecting, so it was initially a 6 seconds oh, Malaskowski with yellow flags and a contact. Oh, that's why he is not in the race anymore. He went into the pit. So there was a contact, an incident between the 15 and the 78. This happened here. It was Derek Bro. They made contact with Malaskowski. We can see from the helicam what happened with Derek Bro. Oh, he was just sitting in the middle of the track. I want to see back what happened to the 78. So he went back on track, a bit of unsafe rejoin there by Derek Bro. Restarting the car from the wall while the 15 was passing. So that's why Smith is now in third place in overall, considering that Sbella still has to pit. So, what about the new Ferrari? It's quite interesting as we go into the interior of the car, because I know that Smith will have some major live coverage, but it's for a good reason. So what to say about this car? 6-cylinder V6 with 120 degrees in the engine, nearly a 3 liter, just a little bit less. Turbo powered, 600 horsepower with 7,250 RPM, 710 Newton meter of torque. The brakes are absolutely gargantuar, 400 of diameter in the front, 332 in the back. Absolutely enormous. And the pads, 30mm in the front, 26mm in the back. Obviously everything else is basically the same. Quite long. Quite a long car. $2,600 between the wheel, 2,600mm between the wheels, front and rear. So it's actually a bit long, not too much obviously, but this car is sensational. Like, looking just the fact that it is a 3 liter V6 turbo. It's actually quite tiny, a V6, for a V6 being just 3 liters, as we are used to the 6,000 liters from the Mercedes engine displacement. That's possibly the box that is the lowest capacity in the whole field. Now, Sbella, by running this long, I suspect he is going for the full duration of the race with a single tank and no change of tires. Siabuk made the same, 6 seconds only into the pits, and in fact he has gained several positions since the beginning of the stint more than anything. But now it's Hungary closely following behind that made a lengthy stop. And now finds Siabuk ahead, waist lower. Now, unfortunately, because of the disconnection, Javudal is not showing up into the leaderboard, but he is still with the fastest lap, still holding the fastest lap with a 47.415. An additional point will be given to him at the end of the race. Effectively, home race, it's a bit of a trouble, as now it's Hungary trying on Siabuk and making it that Siabuk is going extremely wide on entry or exit or apex, actually the whole turn, and finds himself in 10th place with Hungary that has passed him, and the next online is Thompson behind. So yeah, as you said, British drivers in the home on land, in the home soil rather, having just Smith and Thompson outside every single one of the last places from 15th downward, with Thompson in 11th and Smith in 4th place. Both of them in a Ferrari, just two different versions. Now German as Bella goes into the pits. So now it's going to be interesting to see the decision being taken on the Audi number 971. And number 60 is 9 seconds behind the leader. He has been running 1.5 seconds faster in the last lap. 17 minutes to go, which means more or less 10 laps. At the current state, Zerman will get in front 10 minutes from now, as Sauter is absolutely wide on exit, as Woodward overtook number 2. Well, also, Sberla is now in 5th place, ahead of Biswas, who is trying the overtake as of now. Remember that Kevin could have been in 5th, as Abu said, went into the pits, change of tires, change of everything, and now he is in 7th, setting quickest lap times in class. 48.1 was his personal best, and the last lap being set by the Italian. Biswas 49.3, Kevin 47.8. He can still make it if everything really has to go extremely smoothly. But the Frenchman can still make it at least into P number 2, as Panalo is 11 seconds in front. He could make it, but Panalo has to go a second slower per lap than Kevin, and Kevin still has to make overtakes. So now this little fight that may happen between Audi, BMW and Porsche, 3 different cars, completely different. One has rear engine, one is mid-engine, one is front-engine, one is... well, all 3 actually are German cars. That's the only thing that that is in common among the 3 drivers. Sbel, I suppose he is Italian, but I can't say for certain. This was Indian driver and Abu said Italian for sure in the R&M racing team. As you can see, the Porsche going a bit out of line, maybe thinking about an overtake that never happened. As I'm seeing a car in the distance in the grass, it was Noel Brown, number 21. Now, obviously, seeing the Audi up in front makes you wonder why many drivers didn't choose it. The answer is simple. It was absolutely undrivable before the update, while this was 404 loses the position on Vabused as he goes into the correct racing line, because it was actually the Indian driver going very far away in turn 2. As now possibly Sberla will not defend too much. Actually, he tries to defend the position, number 5. But effectively the Porsche into the inside he goes, into Agostini, number 4, and then Hamilton. It is number 19 in front. And now Biswas has to make the same with Bella that just pitted for 12 seconds, so just a splash and dash. More than a splash and dash, it was actually a lot of fuel being put into the car. Spella up in front. So the Italian now has already lost 2 seconds on Abused, and I'm questioning if he will lap quicker than Panalo, because at this point the lead of both classes is still unknown, as Jabulal is back to good lap times, not as good as Germans obviously. But 48.6 is just a second quicker than just a second slower than Zerman's 47.6. Sberla went with a 51.4. So very slow time being set by the Audi driver, and now the 404 has to defend against a very angry Kevin, who is trying the best possible. Meanwhile, it's Thompson and Borsari fighting in turn number 1. Ferrari closing the door as early as possible. So we'll go back into the Porsche cockpit, just behind Biswas. Number 4-4 now. Oh, into the inside he goes, into Williams, and makes the position without any particular trouble. And now the next objective is bad lap in front. Now for the IM leaderboard, because effectively I've just been talking about the pro. Panalo is the current leader of the championship, 153.5 points, with 4 wins, 1 second place and 1 21st place, as Bella went absolutely wide there, possibly making life very easy for Kevin, who is in 6th place after a DNF in the last round and a 19th place in the 3rd race. And all the other results are a podium, 2 second places and 2 3rd places, while there is a contact between a 55 and a 277. It was Borsari and Thompson still battling into what has been... Oh, it's been basically Thompson going straight onto Hungary's front end. I want to see it back from the 277 cockpit. As you can see, he goes in the corner and then finds a Ferrari flying into the... well, from the distance into his front end, as now Biswas is trying to fight with currently Simone Sperla in the 971. Now, you are possibly seeing in the HUD there is Sim Trader, and you're possibly asking what is Sim Trader. Well, it's quite easy to say. Why I still want to see, maybe it happens now. No, it doesn't. Still doesn't for now. Anyway, what is Sim Trader, as I was saying? Dedicated class field website for sim racing enthusiasts looking to buy or sell sim racing. Yeah, that's right. You can now sell and buy just sim racing gear, so you can find your perfect shop to all your troubles in terms of wheel, gloves, steering wheel only, wheel bases, pedals, and accessory of any kind. Absolutely safe and trustworthy, with a series of fail-safes being applied to the website, so you can be quite happy with all your purchases or your sold items all around the world. So be sure to check Sim Trader, maybe give it a look. Honestly, I have to change my G29 some way or another, and in all the websites it's a bit difficult to just find the correct thing, whether it is for possible scams or possible overpricing of the material you are searching for. And Sim Trader gives you the chance to not go through the process of filtering. They do it for you, so be sure to check it out. Speaking of Trader, I think it is Bella and Biswas still fighting, and possibly Biswas wants to trade his 8th place for the 7th. Possibly Bella is not really happy with the current offer. He possibly still wants to stay with his product. 7th place after a different tactic compared to the rest of the grid. Many drivers went into the pits for a change of tires, while many didn't. Jaudal is the first name in the grid that didn't change the tires, and in fact Zerman is now quite close, but all my predictions went into flames, as I'm seeing the Swedish driver is now slightly less than 4 seconds away from... No, now it's 4 seconds, exactly 4 seconds away from Timothy Jaudal in first, with what is basically 4 laps to go. So he needs more than a second per lap to be made. And I'm quite surprised, because he was gaining a lot in a certain moment, and then it kind of stopped the second and a half per lap. It became some tenths per lap, which is now making the Swedish in a bit of a difficult place. But everything may still go the other way around, as obviously the tires are struggling massively in Jawdal's perspective. One tires are not always the best, and you have to keep looking at them. If you make a mistake, it's all over. Well, Thompson and Borsari still fighting for position, and this time the Ferrari is still making contact with the Aston Martin. It's the second time it happened, and this time the Ferrari goes away into the distance. So Borsari is possibly going to be quite angry at the Ferrari. Another contact, and this time again it's the Ferrari possibly guilty for what happened between the two. And now Messina is in front of his teammate, which is now back in front of Messina. Head of position. Not for an overall one, but just for an overall one, considering they are in two different classes, as you can see from the light blue and the red color. Speaking of overall, it's Hungary trying to put himself between the fight for 7th, with Biswas and Sberla fighting still for 7th, but Biswas went quite slow, not slower, but just on par with his opponent in front. 50.2 Sberla's time. Biswas set at 50.0, that is now being compromised by Hungary, sitting in the middle just like a sandwich. And Aston number 155, even if not fighting for position, is now in 8th place overall. And now I'm very, very curious about these 3 laps to go. Effectively 3 laps to go for Zerman. It has to be quick. He's gaining a second per lap, and he's very much tied with himself. 9 tenths being gained, because the gap is 2.7 seconds with just 3 laps to go. Now it's the time to shine for the Swedish driver, because he has to make everything, or rather Jawdal has to not overdo, because Jawdal's tires are really close to being deleted. And I think Jawdal made a mistake, because now from the standing 2.5 seconds, so possibly not really 2.2, so yeah, it was maybe a mistake in turn number 2 into Montreal, the French manner. I became French for a moment. But anyway, remember you all that now that there is a bit of a brief moment of calmness before the storm. There is a prize obviously for the drivers. The Pro Am winner receives an Acelith Simracing €80 gift code for their purchase. So at the moment, Ilke Zerman is on the way for it. And remember that everyone that joins the FRL Discord has a 3% discount code, which is not much, but it's obviously a good, I would say a good way to start your purchases. Still a discount, never look down on discounts on the price. So if you want to maybe get yourself an update and an upgrade, or both, I'm not really sure which one of the two you want, be aware that they are ready to all your customer choices in terms of wheel, pedals, and etc. Just wheels, mostly wheels, because effectively pedal is not pedals like pedals, but like pedals as accessories. As Borsari is now back in front of Thompson's Ferrari for the second time. Maybe this time is the correct one. As I'm here, we are nearly there. We are nearly there for the white flag, and there is 1.7 seconds. German's hope really takes place in the last lap, in the last 1.1 minute and 49 seconds of the British track Snetterton 300. 4.7 kilometers. Track being used in the British GT Championship, in the British Formula 3 Touring Car Championship, and the Superbike Championship, if you need it. But for now, we are getting there as we go into the interior cockpit cam. And the white flag, brought to you by Acelith Design, for now being taken by Jabudal. But I don't know who of the two drivers will take the checkered, as the lap times on German side have been a bit higher than the usual, while Jabudal's one are still steady on the 49 high, 49 low, while German is getting closer to the 48 high. Remember that he needs a second plus overtake. And Jabudal's going a bit wide there on Agostini. More wide into the grass, jumping away. Maybe the pressure is coming into the McLaren's driver mind. And the Swedish is feeling it. He's nearly there as the two drivers are Borsari and Siavuk switching position, with Siavuk in front of the Aston Martin, the Italian, rather than the Aston Martin, because both cars are Aston Martin. And now we are getting there. Turn 9, very close between the two drivers. We are getting very close to an overtake at the very last corner. Bomb hole, turn number 10. Quicker for German's car. Coram 11. A bit wide for Jabudal. Possibly defending the inside as much as possible. It may be a dive bomb from the outside. And it's going to be Jabudal. It's going to be Jabudal that makes it into his first win of the season. Takes the checker flag in the 531 McLaren with the 60 coming in second place, with a side-by-side with Siavuk just in front of Borsari in 12th place. But we go with Julian Smith as the podium finisher, tying his best result in the rookie in the new car. So maybe ditching the old one. The old car was a good idea, as he goes in third place and completes the race on the podium. And then there is Panalo just behind him. That is your IM winner in IM class, with Abu Said coming in second, Kevin unfortunately just in third after the incident with Woodward, then Sberla in 7th, which is just outside the podium in IM class, and in front of Biswas, with Hungary coming in 7th actually, after the Audi, no, maybe not, I'm not sure which one of the two will come in front. It's going to be Hungary in front of Sberla in 8th, with Biswas in 9th, Burjo in 10th place. And effectively, last of the lead lap cars, just in 10th place. All the others have been lapped already, from 11th to 21st, with a fight going on in front. It was Sauter and Gedman, with the Italian job car in the 747, and it's the finish line for the gold car too, while Williams crossed the line. And then there is Noel Brown, last lap, last car, effectively into the field. So this was it, while now they are also standing being updated, with Burjo keeping 10th place with a 15-second penalty. Messina with 5, so we will stay there. With Thompson with 15 seconds after the incident with Borsari, but he will stay in his own position. With Woodward, 5-second penalty, and Sauter with a 15-second penalty that effectively puts him behind Williams in the Pro IM standings. McCaughton had a 25 seconds and then retired. Bro with a drive-through, and Malaskowski with 5 seconds penalty being shown. So this was it. Let's go with your... Oh, wait! There is a huge one! Jabudal, 10-second penalty! Effectively, I lost one. That's on me. Jabudal, 10 seconds penalty on his win. So effectively, it's Zerman winning again the race. There was live stewarding, which I'll be honest, that's on me. I thought there wasn't live stewarding. There was indeed live stewarding, so this puts Zerman as your back-to-back-to-back winner from it was, if I remember correctly, it was already into the lead, into pole position rather than anything. So Ilke Zerman, not actually back-to-back, considering last round was 6th place, but a third win for the Swedish driver. Very interesting one.
Yeah, hi. I'm just wondering if you have any idea why he has a penalty.
I can check right now, as I can go somewhere. Penalty here, not here, here. Can check quite quickly. I don't have any clue because there is live stewarding, but I don't have access to the reasoning. So he has a penalty. And
Okay, but why?
unfortunately, I didn't see any incident.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, okay, he took someone out. Oh, it was for the incident with Bro in qualifying. That's right. So he got a 10-second penalty for the incident with Bro in qualifying session, and that's why you are the winner.
Well, it was a hell of a race. I had no grip on the first set. Like, I had to change it because otherwise I would have a puncture or something. I don't know why. Yeah.
It's all considering the Audi now is quite creepy with the newest tires. You were on no direct pressures, right?
Yeah, because I did practice on long stints before and I had no issues whatsoever. So I kind of kept the settings I had, and for some reason this race it just didn't work at all. So I had to pit for new tires, and I didn't think that I was going to catch him at the end, but holy shit, that was the ending, yeah.
No cursing. But yeah, I think that I want to ask you because I've been feeling this way with the car, and it is. Are you having a better time with these new tires or worse? Because in my opinion, I'm feeling very good with these tires and car.
It feels better. It's easier to drive over curves, definitely. But in some ways it's more slidey. But it could also be just with my bad setup. But it's better, definitely.
Yeah, now suspension, tires, everything has changed, so it's still a bit of being used to the new things rather than anything.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep on practicing and then hopefully get better.
But this was Ilkay Zerman, your winner of the Snetterton round, which is race number 7. And
2 more, right?
yes. And Monza is the next, and now the bop really helps you.
Yeah, let's see.
Minus 25 kilograms on your car. Enjoy
Oh,
them.
really?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm going to be a rocket ship then.
Yeah,
With 0 wings.
the
Just fly.
Audi finally got what it deserved,
Right.
and now you have less kilogram in your car, faster car altogether, and I think the Audi will have a very nice time there. So enjoy your win and get ready for Monza. Double header.
Thank you.
See you next
You know,
time.
yeah.
So this was Ilkay Zerman, Swedish driver and winner of the race. But this was it for tonight from my side. I'm Chris Romano. I'll be doing commentary tomorrow with the Pulsing Gear GT3, and be sure to check it out. Otherwise, stay safe and have a good night. Bye!